Hi. One of the other things you can do with WebGIS in the classroom is draw your map up on the screen and then be able to sketch on it or write text on it or to highlight certain areas of the world or maybe your community, and also change the base map so you've got a satellite image instead of a topographic map or a street map. Let's talk about how you use something like a Sketch-A-Map tool inside an instructional setting.
Let's dig into the Sketch-A-Map feature. It's a WebGIS. It's out here under the Esri GIS education community. Now this website might change in appearance in the future, but no matter what it looks like in the future, you'll be able to find it by looking around at web mapping tools and then going to something called Sketch-A-Map. As the name implies, Sketch-A-Map allows you to draw a map and you can sketch on it. So let's say you're teaching about the Great Plains, and so you grab these sketching tools, freehand polygon, and let's say you say, ooh, okay, there is a area of plains, there is an area of plains, and let's say I want to call that grasslands and plains and prairies. Okay, let's say I want to change what I'm mapping. I've got a variety of things I can change it to. A satellite image map might be nice. Let's say we're interested in teaching about the basin and range topography. So let's first give it a label, basin and range. Then let's grab the polygon tool and let's sketch out the boundaries of the basin and range province. Okay, so we've got a quick map showing roughly the basin and range topography of the western part of the United States and northwest Mexico, and fascinating. Okay, so that was easy. Then let's go ahead and clear that. Let's say you want to teach about earthquakes, and you ask the students to hypothesize where they think earthquakes would happen. So let's say you have them on their own computers or else on the computer in the front of the classroom that's hooked up to a projector, and you have them do this. Well, I think there's a bunch of earthquakes here. And then later on, let's say another student gets up there and they draw in blue. So this student thinks, oh, well, I think there's a bunch of earthquakes over there. And then the other student gets up there and says, well, I think that there are some over here and they're sort of scattered around. Okay, so that is another thing you can do with this tool. So you can use it to get student input on a variety of topics. Now, we've been emphasizing sort of regional and global activities, but remember, this works down to the local community level as well. So let's say you've got the same sort of thing going on as before, where you wanted the students to have input. So let's say you're interested in mapping where the students live. Where do students at this middle school live? Let's go ahead and bump up the size. Let's change the color, something dark. How about a dark red? Okay, and let's change the size right there. Okay, so where do students in X middle school live? All right, and now we're going to go ahead and click on that and change the color of the circle to maybe a black circle. And then the students start mapping where they live, and it ends up being this sort of distribution. Okay, so from that distribution, we could pretty much figure out that the middle school is probably right around in here. What about a high school? What would be the distribution of students coming to a certain high school? Would the cluster be bigger or smaller in area? What about a magnet school? What about an elementary school? What about a community college? What about a university? What about an international university? So there's all kinds of things you can do with a local application like this. And you could also, of course, do this sort of thing where, let's go ahead and map where the commercial district is. in town. And then let's change the base map to a satellite image map, and then let's zoom in a bit. Okay, another thing we can do at a local level is have the students draw where they think the commercial district is. So let's say you've got student X that draws it like this. Why does it go on so long along this particular street, for example? Okay, and then maybe the next student draws the commercial district here. So what can you say about the intersection of all those different polygons depending on where the students draw it? So there's all kinds of different things you can do. For example, let's go ahead and locate Lawrence, Kansas. Okay, so there's Lawrence, Kansas, home of the University of Kansas. And let's say I have the students actually map out where different zones on campus are. Okay, so here's the athletic fields. And here are the academic buildings. Right? You see what I'm getting at? There are some quick and easy capabilities here. Maybe here are the dormitories, that sort of thing. So with Sketch-A-Map, don't just limit yourself to the ideas I've shared here. You being the creative people that you are, you probably have all kinds of ideas that you can use with this tool. So I encourage you to try it out. Sketch-A-Map from the Esri education community. Thanks.